Hello, my name is Tony Beers, and this is Movie Grades.
And just like the movies, we play out our last scene.
Hey everybody, Tony Bears here again, and this is part 2 of my list of the best and worst movies of 2012, the worst. Before I begin, I would like to repeat that I am not a film snob or a frat boy critic. The movies I like more on an emotional level. The most important thing about a movie to me is that I have fun watching it and that I enjoyed it. A movie can be technically good, it can have the best actors, a well-written script, look beautiful, and have the best special effects. However, if I didn't have fun and I didn't enjoy it, then it's a bad movie in my opinion. Or it technically can be bad. A movie can have bad actors, a bad script, was cheaply made, but if I had a good time watching it and I enjoyed it, then it's a good movie in my opinion. Also, this is simply my opinion. Opinions are not fact. Opinions are neither wrong or right. Movies are art, and art is subjective. Any criticism made by anyone about any movie is pure opinion and not fact. If I don't like a movie that you like, relax. It's just my opinion. Don't take it too seriously or too personal. Not everybody is going to like the same things. To each their own. It's fine if you disagree with me. I respect everyone's opinion. Please respect mine. A dishonorable mention for the worst film of 2012 goes to Ghost Rider: The Spirit of Vengeance. This movie is not very good. The story is kind of boring. Christopher Lambert is completely wasted in this movie. He barely has a cameo. They were trying to go for a darker tone, and yes, Ghost Rider should be dark, but the dark tone is ruined by the immature humor. There is a juvenile scene where Ghost Rider pisses fire that is shown not once, but twice in the movie. There's also a scene where Ghost Rider spits bullets, and it looks way too cartoony. Everything about this movie ranges from mediocre to very bad. But as bad as this movie is, it didn't piss me off as much as the other two movies on this list. Why two? Because that's what I feel like. But seriously, it's because there was just two movies that pissed me off. So I guess this year wasn't too bad if only two movies pissed me off. Now, on to my list. Number 2 is Prometheus. Opinions of this movie are very split. About half the people really love it and half really hate it. And I'm one of the people who hate it. If you like this movie, that's fine with me, but I'm sorry I didn't. So don't get pissed at me for not liking it. To each their own. Now, on my review, I gave it a C+. I admit that I was too generous to this movie. The reason I am more lenient on this movie than the next movie on my list is because I'm not a fan of the Alien franchise. The only good one of the ones I've seen is Aliens. If I was a fan of the Alien franchise, I would have higher standards and I would be much harsher on this movie. Now, I give credit where credit is due. Prometheus is a good looking movie. The action scenes are good, the actors are good, however, everything else sucks. The characters are ridiculously stupid. One scientist is scared by a dead alien body, yet he wants to make a pet out of a clearly dangerous creature. Another character can't even walk out of the shadow of a falling spaceship. The android David does everything they tell him not to do. His motivations are never explained. Wayland somehow thought that the aliens would save his life. I don't know where he got that idea from. And Wayland's makeup effects look terrible. One of the writers is from Lost. This makes sense because this movie is very episodic. And like Lost, it raises more questions than it answers. Some people may say the answers are found online, and I'm sorry, but no, movies don't work that way. A movie should stand on its own. You shouldn't have to do research to enjoy a movie. Everything you need to know about a movie to enjoy it should be in the movie. And if it's not, it's a bad movie. And what I mean when I said that it's episodic is the story is more like a TV episode than a movie. That it's part of a whole and not a full story. It doesn't stand on its own. For a movie to be good, even when it's a movie that's part of a trilogy or a franchise, it has to stand on its own and this movie does not. The filmmakers are dragging out this story just so they can make sequel after sequel. All this movie does is set up for the next one. It's the exact definition of what some people call sequel bait. They set up questions only so that the audience will come to see the sequel hoping that their questions will be answered, but they probably only answer a few questions, but not answer all of them in order to keep the audience coming back. This is the same problem of which I had many of the next movie on my list. This is a very unethical business practice by the filmmakers to me. And I'm officially done with the Alien franchise. Now, I might see some of the other movies if a friend rents them and invites me over to watch them, but I will refuse to spend my own money to watch any more of these movies. Okay, just like my favorite movie, everyone who watches my videos can guess what my pick for the worst movie of 2012 is going to be. The number one worst movie of 2012, in my opinion, is The Amazing Spider-Man. Now, I know some people like this movie a lot, and if you like it, that's fine with me. I respect your opinion. Even some of my friends like this movie. I just happen to disagree. I wanted so much to love this movie because I love Spider-Man, and I've been a fan of Spider-Man for so many years. But I'm sorry, I didn't like this movie. The tone of this movie was just a little too dark and depressing. Peter is an unlikable character. The beginning is too slowly paced and boring because it's the origin story again that everybody's seen a million times, and there isn't anything significantly different about the origin to justify retelling the origin. If they actually told us the untold story of Peter's parents, then they would be justified in retelling the origin story, but they don't. Peter doesn't learn responsibility from Uncle Ben's death. Instead, he learns responsibility from Captain Stacy far too late in the movie. The filmmakers tried too hard to not make him a nerd. In the beginning, he had contact lenses instead of glasses. He has a trendy hairstyle and clothes, and he has a skateboard. Peter is too confident in the beginning. He stands up to Flash before gaining his powers. He shouldn't stand up to Flash until after gaining his powers. Unlike the comic, in this movie Peter never tries to make money with his powers. Regarding the Lizard, Dr. Connor's family is not in this movie. He's just another stereotypical mad scientist Spider-Man villain. Say what you will about Sandman, Venom, and the Harry Osborn Green Goblin, at least they weren't mad scientists. The Lizard's CGI was bad, and he had a goofy looking smile on his face. Peter might have made the web shooters, but he didn't make the web fluid, and he never runs out of the web fluid. The "with great power comes great responsibility" quote is not in the movie. They try to make Uncle Ben look like a heroic and responsible, but he comes off as irresponsible and foolish to me. Just like Prometheus, this movie sets up things that never pay off. The untold story of Peter's parents remains untold. They mention Norman Osborn, but he's never shown. Uncle Ben's killer is never caught. Some people say that these things will pay off in the sequels. First, I'm not reviewing the sequels, I'm reviewing this movie. Second, the sequels have not yet been made, so there is no way of knowing if these things will pay off or not. Third, even when a movie is part of a trilogy or a franchise, it should still stand on its own. A movie should never rely on its sequels to resolve major plot points. Just like Prometheus, this movie is baiting its audience with promises of answering their questions in the sequels in order to milk the audience out of all their money. I could go on and on about the things that I didn't like about this movie. These are just a few reasons why I didn't like it. And if you like this movie or any other one on this list, it's fine with me. I'm glad that you liked it. I wish I did. Like I said, I have friends who like The Amazing Spider-Man, and if I see the sequel, I might actually like it. For one thing, at least the origin will be out of the way. But who knows? Again, this is simply my opinion. If you disagree, hey, that's cool with me. Not everybody can like the same thing. To each their own. I'm Tony Beers, and I'll see you next time.